We look at the hiring numbers during the summer. Month to month, they look pretty spectacular, I would say. But how do they compare with hiring numbers or overall employment a year ago, for example?
Sure. So basically, what we're seeing is that the recovery is underway, but the gains are moderating. We're still underwater relative to where we would have been in terms of hiring pace a year ago. And that's true if you look city by city or if you look industry by industry. Across the board, we are still not in positive territory where we're growing faster in terms of hiring than a year ago. And I think one of the most interesting things, to take away from this is that while the recovery is going on, it's fairly fragile. And in fact, it might be even slowing a little bit from what we can see in our data through late August.
We're looking here at revitalized industries, year-over-year hiring, public administration, wellness and fitness up, real estate up, I guess no surprise there, healthcare higher. So there are some industries that are getting more close or even above normal.
That's right. There are pockets where we are doing well, where we're seeing hiring. And like you said, with ultra low rates, with the inventory rebuild that we're currently in our economy, that's also supporting transport and logistics sector. Healthcare is a no-brainer. People delayed a lot of, regular healthcare they wanted or elective healthcare, and now they're finally starting to get back into that. Finance has been holding up as well, despite what we're seeing today. And then finally, I think the fun fact is wellness and fitness, which is kind of off the charts, basically, and probably reflects a lot of home gym building that people are doing right now.
Yeah, I would think so, because a lot of gyms have not obviously been open across the country.
Right.
How does the U.S. in terms of hiring compare with other countries that have been struck by COVID?
Yeah, well, everybody's going through their own, experience, and we are definitely in the U.S. lagging a little bit the rest of Europe and Asia. And that may be because elsewhere the reopenings have happened and been sustained. And in our case, it feels a little bit more like there's a rolling blackout experience of shutdowns and reopenings happening in different places across the U.S. I think we're also a little bit more hamstrung in that in many cases schools haven't reopened, and that is a headwind for working parents. And then last but not least, there's a little bit more uncertainty here in the U.S. than, say, in France or elsewhere in Asia around what the benefits are that people can expect. So I think people are kind of waiting to see whether or not there's another drop of stimulus coming.
I think you began by saying that some of the hiring momentum had abated a bit recently. Do you expect to see a continuance of that abatement, and how concerned should we be about it?
I think, tomorrow we're likely to probably see continued improvement, albeit much slower than what we've seen in the past couple of months. And then looking further ahead, so far as I can tell in the, spotlight that I'm looking out at, it looks like things have slowed dramatically. There hasn't really been a lot of improvement since mid-August in the U.S., generally speaking. Like I said, there's always pockets of growth. There are even cities that are doing better and getting back close to normal. But largely, I think until we address some of the headwinds we have around whether or not consumers feel confident about spending, whether or not businesses can look forward and plan on investing and rehiring, we're sort of like fighting with one arm tied behind our back.